Hello, my name is Ian from FDT TV. You may remember me from such videos as 2 losses in 2 games, are we going down, and does Yarmolenko still deserve a place in the team? I'm here to give you a bit of a match preview and my thoughts on our trip up to Old Trafford against Manchester United on Wednesday. My thoughts before we restarted were we were going to get absolutely demolished in this game, but our recent upturn in form gives me a bit more confidence. But first off, let's get into the lineup, shall we? So we start off in goal with the main man himself, Fabianski. Then we go Ben Johnson, Issa Diop, Angelo Ogbonna, Aaron Cresswell. Pretty straightforward along the back. Now we've got some injuries to Ryan Fredericks and Ngaki has gone. Johnson fits quite nicely into there and hopefully he can cement that place for next season, saving us having to dip into the transfer pot. In midfield, I would go in a midfield 3 is with Declan Rice, Thomas Souček and Mark Noble, who's just reached his 500th game for the club. And then up front, go with a front 3 with Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals and Mikel Antonio. As for Manchester United, I think they're going to go with quite a strong squad. They are still in the FA Cup at the point of recording this, and they've got some Europa League ties to play. But De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Pogba, McTominay, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford and Martial. Not a fun front 3 to be facing. Now, as for my predicted score, we would go with, I'm going to go with 2-2. We've hit a good vein of form recently and we are scoring goals, and we've scored a lot of goals recently, but we've only kept 1 clean sheet, and that was against Norwich where we demolished them. That was a done game, I think, before we played them. Manchester United, I've still got stuff to play for, so it's not a dead rubber game. They can still get Champions League. We potentially can still get relegated. We are all but safe, but mathematically speaking, until we get a point in this game, we could be relegated depending on other results around us. So I think both teams will be going for a strong finish to the season, and hopefully we can get a point out of this one. So in our last 5 games, we've scored 13 goals. 12 of them were given, 1 was wrongly ruled off against Chelsea, and we've conceded 6. So our goals to games ratio at the minute is fantastic. As long as we can keep that up, we can keep level with Manchester United and pull something out of this game. Manchester United have scored 12, so the same amount, but they've only conceded 4. So again, they are able to concede goals, and I think at the minute with Souček and Mikel Antonio playing the way they are, we're going to get a couple in this game. It's a scary game for me because the way we are playing at the moment, we don't want to muck that up and then go and concede 4 or 5 goals and get absolutely tonked and have a rubbish last 2 games of the season. Since the break and we've come back, we have played really, really well. So Mikel Antonio is playing out of his skin, same as Declan Rice, and Thomas Souček has looked phenomenal. So hopefully we can make that loan permanent. That seemed to look like it was dependent on whether we're staying up, and that's more than likely going to happen now. If we can keep hold of Declan Rice as well next season and we can add to that, then this fixture next season I'm not so concerned about. But as of now, we've got the potential for a mistake in our defence. They are getting better, they are defending better, but we've got the most prolific front 3 in all of Europe facing us this week with Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. So in this game for me, there are 4 key battles. The first one being Declan Rice versus Bruno Fernandes. The man who's got the most tackles, the most interceptions in Declan Rice. It's not going to be an easy game for Bruno Fernandes, but we all know he falls over quite easily and gets rewarded quite a few penalties, even when treading on the opposition. So I think Declan Rice will come out the better of those 2. So it relies on the other members of that Manchester United team to be creative and push us back into our own half. So this is one of the games where Declan Rice can stand up and show that he is a world-class player already and deserves to be the England captain. Now, I know some of you are saying that's a bit of a push, but I certainly see him being there in a few years, so why not give it to him now? He's doing fantastically as West Ham captain. Bruno Fernandes has got the ability to do anything. He is a baller. We've seen flashes of that. We just hope that he doesn't have a good game, and if he does have a good game, that Declan Rice's game is better. Next up, we have Paul Pogba versus Thomas Souček. Both are big boys, both in the middle of the park, both game changers for me. Pogba can put in a pass. Souček does not stop running. Both know where the goal is. Souček more this side of the break than Pogba, but you can't rule it out. Both creative, both able to change the game if they're on their games. So that will be an interesting battle for me. Next up is Mikel Antonio versus Harry Maguire. I think Antonio will get the better of Maguire. He's got more pace about him. He doesn't get bullied off the ball easily, and he does not stop running. And I don't think Maguire's going to have the fitness levels to keep up with him. So I think he will slip away a couple of times. I'm sure there'll be a few fouls in there, some that are given, some that are not. But say it's where Mikel drifts out wide that potentially he's going to take Harry Maguire with him and leave gaps for running forwards, Fornals, Bowen, Souček to get into behind the defence, and that's where we're going to open them up. So next up is Ben Johnson versus Marcus Rashford. This is going to be an interesting one. Ben Johnson had a fantastic debut against Manchester City and a few games in and out of the team. We've not then seen much of him throughout the season because of the likes of Ngakia coming through and Ryan Fredericks returning to fitness. I do think he's a solid defender. I do think we're going to see more of him next season than we have done this season, whether that's on the right hand side or left, because he plays both. Fantastic little player. But Rashford has got bags and bags of pace and knows where the goal is and drifts in and drifts out and is forward and back. So if he's not on the ball, I feel that he could be left behind and chasing the game a little bit because of Rashford's pace. So hopefully Ben Johnson stands up and announces himself in a big way and cements that place in the team. So my final thoughts for this are hopefully next season we can have another pandemic and a break, because our form this side of it, although at the very start was a little bit sketchy, has been brilliant. David Moyes has once again saved us from relegation, so hopefully Golden Sullivan will back him to bring in a few more players. We need a few more players that are workhorses like Declan Rice, like Antonio, like Souček, to just bolster that squad, get rid of a few that are lacking and injury ridden, a bit like Jack Wilshere, Ryan Fredericks, and don't tell some people, but I think we should get rid of Sebastian Haller. He's not a player for me. But we can push on next season and finish where we should do. We shouldn't be in relegation battles at this point. It's just getting a bit ridiculous. But back David Moyes, back the players. Come on, you are.
My name is Brian, and I'm going to give you the preview of the match between Manchester United versus West Ham, which will be next week. And I am a United fan, so I will be giving you my thoughts, my predictions, my predicted lineup. And so I'll start with the home team, which is United. First of all, United are on a good run of form, currently unbeaten in the last 19 matches. So it will be interesting, and it will be a battle, considering the way West Ham are at the moment, because they're also in a good run of form. Won their last 3, not only won but also won with big margins. The last match they thrashed the last 2 matches. They thrashed Norwich, and I'm not so sure whether it was Watford, and also they thrashed Watford 2-0. So it will be a good game, and I'm looking forward to it. Our lineup, the home lineup, it will be. I'm so curious to what Oli will pick, because we all know the threat that West Ham possesses, especially on the counter and also set pieces, because they are so good in the air, with the likes of Souček and Antonio, and the defenders Balbuena and Diop. So it will be nice to see what Ole picks, considering that the table is now stretched to the last moments where we want to secure Champions League football. I'm so curious to know what the lineup will pick because of what I've told you. So I'm rooting for Bailey to start because of the physical presence at the back. Lindelof is good, but when you compare Lindelof and Bailey in terms of their physical strength, Bailey is slightly better. And since we will be facing a giant of a striker like Antonio, it will be necessary to start someone like Bailey, who is so strong. For United, we all know how we play at the moment, our front four, our quartet, which is one of the most potent front four in the country, in England right now. Martial, Rashford, and of course Greenwood, and the amazing Fernandes. So for lineup, obviously the back four, it will be Shaw will start at left back, even though at the moment he's injured, but I'm so sure he will be fit for that game. If not, I'm rooting for Brandon, and of course you saw for Cements have been given a real start against Crystal Palace. So you never know, but my first choice it will be Luke Shaw. The defensive centre back pair will be Bailey and Maguire, and of course the right back will be Wan-Bissaka. For the midfield, will be going for Pogba and Matic to start in the central midfield, with the wingers being Rashford and Greenwood, and obviously the number 10 being Bruno, and of course our number 9, Tony Martial. For West Ham, their lineup of course will be the same lineup. I'm rooting for a 4-5-1 formation, which they are currently using at the moment, with Antonio as the lone striker, and the midfield consisting of Fornals, consisting of Soucek, McNoble, Declan Rice, and Jared Bowen. And the defense, you need to be in Cresswell, Balbuena, Issa Diop, and the right back, the new kid on the block. I'm not so sure about his name. So it will be interesting to see the game. And where I'm concerned about United is the threat that West Ham possesses on the break, on the counter. You saw what they did against Chelsea, where they thrashed them 3-2, and it will be an interesting battle. But I'm rooting for United to win. I'm not so sure of a clean sheet, but I'm so sure we will win by at least 2 margins, maybe 3-1 or a 4-2 win. But if it's a clean, if at all there will be a clean sheet, well and good. But West Ham are also a very good side, a very good moment, and since currently also they are chasing they are trying to avoid relegation, so they will give the 100%, and that's my thought.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.